No, what I think is you guys are scared of there. Jim Riley, Joe Zillig, Harry Race, Bernard the Chance, DJ Dave, Perlita Quinwan, Elton Anderson, Don Wiley, Jim All, Buildable, 1961, Oyster Cracker Man, Bidded Bat 4, Blue Boy Boxes, Robo Rapist Night, Red Randy, Red Gordon, and Ellery's is that the women are starting to figure out your frauds and cons 3 times running, and rapists and abusers, and destroy the reality for Perlita Jones, the loser liar, Karen Faust of the country and western, and you all sit there and pretend that you're protecting me, when really Taco Joe, the britches rapist, ruined everybody's lives. Over and over, whispering back at the Fairmount, and then Indian fades out and goes and hides, and then he'll come running back to rule over people, this and that, taking. I told you it was never yours, Perlita, and the Oyster Cracker Man, the All-American Antilla. It just doesn't seem to penetrate in your guys' minds that the women and some of us are tired of the mutilations and rapes and abuse of a bunch of fakes and frauds that reset up to rule over people that destroyed everything in the first place. And then you want to pretend, Perlita, Karen Faust, and Country and Western, Ellery's, Roble Knight, Bernard, that people are going to actually like you when you raise up a Joe to rule over them again, when you're the same group of abusers in the first place. So again, Perlita, you can keep asserting, picking Street, Jamaica Street in your group, Google Duncan, that it all belonged to you all when you're the thieves of the world that made everyone sick and got off on, the taco prison tank fucking story. That's how dumb you are, Bernard, Ellery, Intillaman, All-American. You have to ask yourselves when you initiated your stuff, Harry, if people ever fucking wanted it. They didn't want your carny, or the football, or your abuse, Harry Joe Bernard, because like I said, it's starting to prove again that the cowboy rapist is running around. The dumb fuck of the dumb fuckery. And so you want to be careful there, Harry Joe Bernard, because, look, the military, the Navy, and the Marines and them, and the other branches start to look around, and they start to figure out the space cowboy story or the space marine story. And so are you guys sure that you don't have another war brewing? Harry, Joe, and Bernard, Ellery's Roble Knight. I thought you didn't live that comic book delusion, Roble Knight, Harry and Joe. Cowboy run back and forth. So be careful, Karen Faust, the country and western, and Perlita, as you keep asserting that your torture device and mechanism was needed when it was never needed at all. That Joe and Harry and Bernard just have and Ellery's have a delusional fantasy and couldn't sustain or maintain it, and then they took it out on the kids. And so the military branches and stuff, like I said, those people that you guys abused and victimized, the police officers, firefighters, would take a bigger look. And so your story, Robo Rapist Night and your machine with David's stuff, stolen stuff, is a failure. And so be prepared as you try to, ramp up your war, Robo Knight and All-American Antilles, that, NASA and Lockheed and some other companies are, teaming up together. They'll find out who the loyal ones are and the ones who aren't. And they'll create a more effective fighting machine. And, how to end war forever is to, create a new effective fighting machine and then teach them how not to have to go to war. So be careful, Warlord Roble Knight and Ellery's of the delusional Taco Joe and Harry and Bernard and All-American Antilla, because, people might not agree with your viewpoints about how reality was.